Yo, good day my people, welcome to today's concept, which is learning Python with data science, day 18. And in today's concept, oh my god, is a beautiful one, is an amazing one. Like visualization, like things you need to know about visualization, how it's being done, and we're gonna go into the practical aspect like always. So like, it's a very beautiful topic. Why is it beautiful? Because people love it. By the time I'm done with this video, you guys will know what I'm talking about. You will be like, oh, you're right, this is why it's beautiful. So make sure you stay glued to this particular video. This video is not a video that you just skip around. Every particular concept is a banger. We're gonna dive deep to know what data visualization is. Some of you don't know what data visualization is. Like, you don't know what data visualization is. You're just hearing that for the first time, and trust me, you are like, what is data visualization? What is he talking about? Data visualization is a very beautiful concept. It is one of the concepts that my student loves a lot. When I tell them it's going to be beautiful, and at the end of it, oh, so I think I prefer this one than the rest we've been doing from the day one. So now we're going to talk about what data visualization is and the importance of data visualization. Like I said, it's a very beautiful tool. It's a very beautiful concept in data analysis. So let's quickly see what it is and what it's all about. So first, what is data visualization? We always break it down to the simplest form, and I've written down a simple definition for you guys. So let's read it on. Data visualization is turning numbers and information into like charts, graphs, or maps. Imagine trying to understand a big list of numbers. It is boring and confusing, right? But if you turn those numbers into color bar graph or pie chart, suddenly everything makes sense at a glance. It helps people see patterns, trends, and stories in the data quickly without needing to dig through long reports. It's like using a map to find your way instead of just reading direction. Much easier and faster. Can you see that? So, definition of data visualization in the simplest form. That is my Blueghost definition. So anytime you come to my classes, that is how I define it. There's still more definition out there, but in the Blueghost definition, I said is the easy way for you to basically read and understand numbers, turning numbers to visualization. That means when you see numbers, you now transport them into visualization. You understand? That is one beautiful part of visualization. So now visualization makes things easy, makes your reports easy. Numbers and all those reports that basically people give, when you visualize them and you send it even to people that do not understand those aspects, it basically breaks it down and make them understand better. So now I'm going to head on to give you the 5 importance of data visualization. This thing I'm talking about, what is the importance, how can it improve you as a data analyst, and how can it help you? The first one is simplifies complex data. What does it mean by simplifies complex data? Visualization turns overwhelming data sets into clear, easy to understand charts and graphs, making patterns and trends instantly recognizable. It's basically what simplify complex data. Complex data such like price. It's very difficult for you to understand them, just like numbers. Those days, basically, people just use numbers, and it was very difficult for them to explain their point or to give their meaning. But with visualization now, it makes it easier for people to identify patterns and trends, just like every forex trader. Trust me, if there was nothing like TradingView, MetaTrader 5, many people will not be trading forex, right? Exactly. That is why they now brought in the candlesticks, now brought in visualization to tell the trend, the opening and closing price of every price. Can you see how complex that particular data is? That data is complex, but now because of visualization, many people, even newbies that are just coming inside, can now trade. But just imagine now, it's just only showing only opening price and closing price, no trend, no candles. Do you know how difficult it's going to be for you? That's why you can see now everybody is not having the mind to say, draw your Fibonacci, draw your FUG, this is the retracement, this is that. Why? It's because someone decided to say, oh, let's visualize this thing for them. So visualization makes complex data easy to read, and there is no visualization that was not from a data. Every visualization you're seeing is from a data, it's neither from a live data. So that is one importance of data visualization. Second importance is faster decision making. Humans process visual much quicker than raw numbers. With the right visualization, Decision making can quickly grasp insights and take action without needing to shift through spreadsheets. Faster decision making helps it easier for people, analysts, to basically understand that particular number or to understand that data and to now take the necessary decision quick as possible. Just imagine you have to be going through spreadsheet to know what this particular trend is going, go to another. It's very exhausting, it's very, very tiresome. But now with visualization, it basically takes this number to something visual. That means when someone sees it will basically understand, oh, this trend is going up, oh, this is the upmost part of where it's going to go, so we are expecting what, a downfall. Trust me, it has helped me a lot. If I can just visualize that data, that is it. You will not be scared of numbers anymore, because when you have numbers, you can now take that numbers to drive insight. What do I mean by driving insight? That means identifying trends, identifying patterns in that particular data. Without just those numbers, you will not be able to identify. You may be able to, yes, get the sequence, oh, this is what is happening, this is what, but with visualization, you can basically drive insight and make easy decisions. The third thing is identify hidden insights. Visualization reviews hidden relationship, outliers, and trends that might go unnoticed in tables of raw data, offering a deeper understanding of the story behind the numbers. So visualization reveals hidden relationships. That means things that you cannot see with just looking at those numbers. It will reveal it to you. Insight that you basically could not see. Just like now, you say, oh, this particular month, January, February, March. Now, let's say January is the highest sales for that month, and you basically say, oh, now with an insight, you can basically say, oh, this is the reason why January have this amount of sales. Then this is the reason why February have less of January. Now, can you see the hidden insight of where it comes in? So that is another third thing of data visualization. The fourth thing is enhanced communication. What do we mean by enhanced communication? Visual make complex findings easier to explain, ensuring that teams, clients, or stakeholders are on the same page, regardless of their technical background. Oh, yes, yes, yes. That's where you can see newbies are coming into Forex. I'm just imagining you trying to explain numbers like without visuals. Data visualization is just so beautiful, because you can take that data, find insights, and that insight we're talking about is looking for visuals that will basically explain everything for the user. Even someone that does not believe in, someone that does not understand anything numbers, that is not a mathematician, someone that is dumb, will basically understand that, oh, this is what this person is talking about. So in every level, everybody will understand what you're saying just by you just visualizing things. The fifth but not the least is boost engagement and impact. What does that mean? Compelling visuals capture attention and make presentation reports or dashboard far more engaging, ensuring that insights aren't just seen, they are remembered. Now, the visualization now will basically make someone intrigued. Just like when you bring a newbie to Forex and you show them, they'll be like, wow, so if this can't move up now, I'm making money. If this can't move down now, I'm making money. Yes, you can see the intrigue. You can see how it's compelling them to basically want to know more. So it makes the stakeholders to be like, okay, so this is that we made this money. That means if we can do this, we can have this. Do you understand? It intrigues the stakeholders, it intrigues anybody to whatever you're talking about. So you want people to basically understand what you're saying. How do you relate your ideas to people for them to understand? Is through visuals. So visualization is a very, very important class. Surprisingly, we're going to do it for 2 days. We're going to do the first one. This is the part 1, and we're going to do the part 2. So we're going to have, I think, day 18 and day 19, and we're going to be talking about visualization because it's a very big part in data analysis, and it's something that people have to know. And we're going to be talking about the 2 keys that we're going to use in them. If you're still there after all this explanation and you've not liked it, I'm not going to turn my PC on until you basically like this video. So I'm going to give you a second to like. I know you didn't like that video now, bro. Like the video, man. So now, if you're also here and you've not subscribed, come on, what are you waiting for? Hit on that subscribe button right now. Smash that subscribe button to give that encouragement and be like, Blueghost, we want to see more of this. You guys have been asking, oh, Blueghost, you're no longer posting your Python with data science. Yes, I am no longer posting it because I've been doing some other stuff, right? But show more love by liking. Don't just watch and just leave like that. If you drive inside, like the video. Like that video. That is how you understand. When you like the video you say, yes, you like me. Really? That means I will give you my understanding. So now we are going to dive deep into it. You've been asking, you guys asked for it. Blueghost, is there any way that I can basically, do you have something that I can go through, like I need to learn this like in depth for you to hold my hands? Yes, we have made that available for you guys. Go to blueghostversatile.app and you're going to see us there. We have courses there that you can sign up to. Any of the courses that you choose, we're going to add you to a badge. And please make sure that you sign up to those badges, because there are still badges coming up back to back. So you don't want to come and be like, oh, this badge is full, you have to wait till the next month. So make sure that you sign up to a badge now. Like seriously, now that we are open, I think from now to, let's say, the middle of this month, we are open to them. So make sure you sign up, you join, and when you join, we're going to add you to a badge, and you basically take this class one-on-one. We'll set you on days that you can have your classes. So without any further ado, let's now dive into the practical aspect of visualization, which is the most beautiful part. Hope you guys are ready. So get your PC, get ready, let's go.
Smart Sound.
Okay, so now we are finally in our VS Code, and you can see the day 17 that we did. So now let's quickly create our file, datavisual.ipymb. Then we are in. So the next thing we're going to do here is to say import. So we're going to now import the library. So we'll say import. We're going to say import. First one is numpy as np. We may need this library. So import as well pandas has PD, definitely, to read in our data set. Today's visualization toolkit is Seaborn. So import Seaborn has SNS. There's something else we want to do. We'll say import matplotlib.pyplot has PLT. So we'll say matplotlib.pyplot has PLT and Seaborn has SNS. So these are the two libraries that are needed. So I'm basically going to explain what matplotlib is. I'm going to explain what Seaborn is. So matplotlib is just like a fundamental, like the basic of visualization, right from setting the size of the visualization, right from setting the color and everything of visualization, you know, the fundamental of a visualization. Why Seaborn is a secondary part of the matplotlib. That means Seaborn and matplotlib work hand in hand. So whenever you see the Seaborn and you see the matplotlib, you know that we use the matplotlib to set something about the Seaborn. The Seaborn just basically gives us that visualization and also an advanced visualization as well. But matplotlib we use to set the environment, right? So now make sure that you already have this library installed. You know how we install them? You go to Ctrl J and make sure in your terminal, then say pip install matplotlib, Seaborn. Make sure you're connected to the internet like always. So that is that. If you've done that, I think it should run perfectly. You can now run this particular code and you should not have any problem with that. So now we're going to have a visualization data. We're going to bring a data that we want to just, visualize with this data set. The next thing we're going to do now is to bring in the data set. So we don't have any external data set we're going to be using. We're going to try to get the data set from Seaborn itself. So make sure you go to Seaborn, just type Seaborn. You'll see that is a library that have their own website, and they are very functional, good library that have good visualizations. So, but they have some default data set that you can use. You don't necessarily have to go look for data and bring into it and try to visualize with them, right? So they have a data that is inbuilt with them. All you just have to do is write a certain code and it brings it out. So the SNS, remember the SNS is basically the Seaborn, right? We're going to use the SNS to bring out the data set that we need. So let's quickly see how we can do that right now. So we're going to have the data set to be what? Flights. So I'll name this data set flights. SNS.load underscore data set. So now we want to get a flight data. We have different type of data inside the SNS library. We have the tips, we have the flight, we have the iris, which is about flowers. We have more data set inside. We even have the word populations inside of the data set. So it depends on the one that you want to use. So me, I want to try out the flights So there's also a data set. There's also a data set inside the SNS that have a flight data set. All you just have to do is load the data set and you have it. So that's why if you're installing Matplotlib, you're installing Seaborn or any of these libraries, they come with all these particular features, and that's why sometimes it takes a little bit longer for them to install into your computer. So what is the name of the data set? The name of the data set is what? Flights. So flight is the name. So we'll try to load it by calling the flight, which is the data frame dot head, then run it. So it gives it a little bit time to run. So now there's no need for us using this our pandas, because right now we're just loading this data set directly. Let's say we're using a particular data set that is outside of this flight arrays or any of these data set that SNS has, we have to use the pandas to bring it in. You understand? So but now this will take a little bit time to bring out, because I think it uses internet. So we'll give it time. Let's see how long it's going to take. So some of you may have this error, but trust me, it works. Connection is strong. So I think mine has a little bit kind of that connection issue. So the internet is not that perfect. So you can see the connection attempt failed because connected party did not properly respond. So we're going to remove this off the way. So we're going to clear this. So we're going to do it the other way, right? So what I did for you guys was go out there, get the data, which is the flights, and basically we'll bring it in right now for you guys. Right, look at the things I'm doing for you guys. So make sure you hit on the subscribe and also the like button. You can see the effort I'm putting in. Share this video to who you think may need it, who you think may improve the analysis game in general. So let's dive in and let's see what we can do. So the first thing I'm going to now do is, since this one did not work, this is to bring in the data set from the default Seaborn data set, but it's not coming in. What we're going to do now is to use pandas to bring this guy in. So we're still going to use, let me use df, right? Let me just say df underscore flights. So df underscore flight is going to be the variable that's going to be holding it for us. So pd is for pandas. Then we'll say read in what? CSV. So when you want to read in your particular data set, you have to make sure that it's in a CSV format. So now we're not going to bring in the name of our CSV file. So we'll put it in quotation, which is flight.csv. So that's how we want it. Then we'll say df underscore flight.head. So we have everything like this. We have the year, we have the month, we have the passenger. Those are just the three particular columns that we have over here. And I'm going to create a pivot table with pandas to show you guys how it looks like with just numbers, right? We're going to try to sum up every passenger that we have there, and then afterwards I will now visualize it for you guys so that you guys can now see the difference. Let's quickly create a pivot table. So we'll say, then after that we're now going to write the code for the pivot table. Over here we'll say the pivot flights dot pivot table is something like that, flight dot pivot table. But please mind you, it's no longer this flight. So let's comment out that guy. So here we're going to have the df underscore flights. So I think we're good. So now pivot table, now we will have something known as the index. What column do I want it to be at the index aspect? We have the index, we have the column, and also have the values. So what column do I want to see in the index aspect? So let's say I want to know the total sum of passengers for each month. What I want to see over here is the year. Then the next thing is what? The column. The column I want to see is now the month. So in correlation with the month, can you see that? Then afterwards, what's the next thing? The next thing is the values. What is the value? The value now is meant to be a column that has numerical values. That means that particular column must have numerical values. They must contain numerical values inside of them. So these passengers now, if you go through down, you will see that there must be numerical values associated with them. Are you following? So now over here, I'm going to say what? Passengers. So it's passengers that is meant to be there. And afterward, there's what we call aggregate function. Aggregate function can be the function that you want to see at the end. What is the aggregate of everything? Do you want to see the minimum? Do you want to see the maximum? Do you want to see the sum? Do you want to see any type of aggregate? What type of aggregate do you want to later see in this particular data? So in this particular data, we are here to look for the sum. That is what we are here for. We are here to look for the sum of everything here. So to be what? The sum of everything. So we want to see the total sum of passenger correlating with the year and the month. Are you saying? So it's a pivot table that we basically want to do right now. So after that, we'll call it what? We'll call the particular variable, which is the pivot flight. Then we will now run it. So we can see in 1949, in April, they have 129. In August, they have 148. In December, they have 118. Like that, like that, like that, like that. Can you see that? So now this one is everything that we want to see inside of the table. You can see from 1950 till 1960 for each of the months. Now, this is the numbers aspect. This is what your analysis basically can give to you when you want to look for pivot. Now, let's see the visualization aspect. Let's transform these numbers, these things that looks like this now, to visualization. That means something that your Python can understand. We're going to be creating a line plot. So a line plot is what we're going to be doing here. So let's quickly get this done. Now we're going to now set the size, the width, and the height of this particular thing. So say plt dot figure fixed size. The fixed size should be what? 12 by 5. That's for the fixed size. Now the next thing we're now going to do is to now show the particular visualization we want to perform, which is the line plot. So we'll say sns dot line plot. The next thing is to put the data. What data should this line plot use? Then we'll say what? Use the word the df underscore flight. That's the data I want you to use. Then there's what we call the x and the y axis. The x and the y axis, if you remember those days in our graphs when we want to try to plot a coefficient of x and y and want to see, let's say, the intersection in those graphs. So the x axis over here now is what we're now going to now put in. So what do you want this x axis to be? We'll say we want it to be the year. Then the y axis, what do you want the y axis to be? The y axis, I want it to be what? The passenger. So because it's the passenger we are checking for. We'll now later use the U, color of the line chart that you want to see, because we're going to have different line charts inside of it. So what should be the U? The U is the color that you want to see. So use the months. We'll say df flight dot columns. So we use the columns, so the months and everything, make sure they are there correctly. If you should run this particular thing now, let's say you say plt dot show. plt.show basically display whatever you want to show. It basically brings it down. That's what I'm saying. You can see this plt is just a setting. We used to set the whole graph, the whole visualization, right, to adjust the height, the width, the color, just to make some modification in our graphs. That is what this plt is, and this plt is matplotlib, right? Okay, so it said could not interrupt y has an entry. This name does not appear in the data, so the year do not appear in the data. So cannot interpret the value passenger. Oh, passenger. Okay, the passengers. Okay, there's an S at the back. So we run that. So you can see the line chart it gave to us. You can see how it looks right now. So every month with their color, with where they have gotten to. So you can see from 100, some of them from 100 to 600. We can now add something like a palette. So a palette now have different type of palettes inside of them, but for now I want to use tab 20. I'm going to use tab 20. So let's see how tab 20 looks like. So tab 20, now you can see the color kind of look more different from the other one. So this palette, we have different type of palette. Another modification now that we can do is to use the plt to set the title. So as you can see from the beginning, there was no title at all. This is for this particular title, the font size, and the font size we want it to be, let's say 15. So we'll say 15. So if you run this, invalid, yeah, I forgot comma here. So comma, we run this, you should see the particular one over there. You can also come here to say color. In color we can put in blue. You can put in the blue, then run this as well. So you can see it also changes the color. So you can see the beautiful thing about this visualization. So far so good. So if you've been following, you're getting to the exciting part of everything. So this X label, this Y label is something that Seaborn basically brings on its own. But if you don't want to basically see that, you want to write yours, let's say in the same way, you can still use the PLT to make modifications as well. So let's quickly write that quickly. So let's see font size. Okay, this one with capital F. So run that. So you can see it's now a little bit more bold. So that is how you can modify this particular thing. So you can see how beautiful it is. So the PLT is used to modify the environment of the Seaborn to make it a good visualization for you and for you to understand that aspect basically. But now let's say I want to read insight now. Let's read insight into this particular thing. I can see this red part is the one that is utmost, right? In July, this is the red part. If you trace the line, you can see that their passengers increased drastically and is the highest at this point, which is what, almost 600 during January, right? So you can see also like that, different colors onto this particular one. You can see for May, light one is the June. So you can see June, but the ones I can see that the highest is July and also April, right? July and April at the highest. July and April are almost to the highest ones. So now, what other visualization can I also do with this one? Let's say I don't want to do this thing in a line chart. Let's say I also want to use something else. Let's say a bar chart. I can also do that as well. Okay, so we also want to create a bar chart. Apart from this line chart, let's see what we can also do here. So now let's try to perform this bar chart, just the same thing that we did in this aspect. That's what we're going to basically try to do here. So we're going to try to do this one, but the only thing we're just going to change is change the SNS to bar plot. So here we come here, we say bar plot. So the bar plot now has changed. The year, passenger, everything remains the same. So now let's see how it looks like. So we'll say plt dot show, then we run it. So plt dot show will bring it out in a bar format. So you can see how everything worked accordingly. So from the 1949 to 1960, which is the year that we are looking at, and you can see for everyone, the one that I can mostly see is during July. I don't know what's going on in that July during this particular country. You can see that July people are mostly, for each year, July is the most spiked one, especially during in the 1960s. You can see that July supersede almost 600 passengers, right? Then you can see in 1959 it was August that supersede what July. Then you can see in this color September, I'm looking at them through the color, followed by September, followed by October, then followed by November, then December. So you can see how each of them starts and with their month and correlation. So you can see how visualization now can make it easy for you. So looking at this now and looking at this other one, can you try to get the difference? Can you see how this changed to this, the first one, this visualization, to also this? Can you see how it now correlates with what I'm saying? So you can see the importance of visualization. This is what I'm telling you. When you do something like this and you try to explain it, it's easier for a layman or someone that does not even understand numbers that much, basically know what's going on. Remember, this is an old data set. It's from the 1940s to the 1960s. So these are like previous data that have been recorded, right? So this is just a little bit of what data visualization can do for you. This is just a little bit of it. So that's that for this video. Hopefully you've derived insight so far. You now basically understand what data visualization is, what it is, how we basically use it, how we can change number to visualization. So if you've come this far, please hit on the like button and also share it to a friend that you think is interested in all this particular visualization, that loves analysis. Even your traders that you may think that, oh, it's all about trading. Like I always say, it's not about trading. It's more of, learning other stuff as well. So if you drive insight as well, bless someone by sharing this video to them as well. If you're new here, it's your first time, please subscribe, because you don't know what you've just found. You found the good in the media space.
smart sound.